Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 989. I am Stephen in Lombard.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
Lombard being the home of Chicago TARDIS, because the Lombard is in Chicago land, although not in Chicago. If you drive down from Madison, Wisconsin, as we did on Thursday night, you will know that you don't even see Chicago when you arrive in Lombard from that area. So,
because you're stopping short, yeah.
We are stopping
many
short.
Chicagoans are at this thing, so I would assume.
That's true. Yeah, it is a convention for Chicago, but it is probably like Abbotsford is to Vancouver, let's face it. But
is it full of hillbillies?
No, not that I can
Trudeau
see.
Bumper stickers? That's Abbotsford for you.
No, I can't see that. Our window this time overlooks some sort of pond, not the Target parking lot for Black Friday as it did in years past. But that's fine. I can see traffic moving somewhere on, I don't know, Butterfield
Instead of a riot.
Road. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I missed all of Black Friday. But it's been fun. Chicago TARDIS back again, first time in 5 years. It's been nice. And you'll hear an interview from that today on this very podcast with Joe Martin, aka Doctor Who, and Sacha Dhawan, aka The Master. That's on this podcast, recorded. I interviewed them on stage at Chicago TARDIS, and now you get to hear it on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
I was enjoying looking through all the photos that the Chicago TARDIS account posted on Facebook.
They do that a lot, don't they? It's great of them to sort of keep everyone updated on what's going on.
Lots and lots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was. I went to the DVD home media panel. Friday. So we're recording this Saturday morning. So we're there's literally more than half the convention to come. But I went to that, and then
Who was
my
on
own
that
thing.
one?
That was on. There were some Steve Hill and Ross Rediger was hosting it, and a couple other people, and Mark Ayers was there, and eventually it just became, let's ask Mark Ayers about the Blu-rays, and so
As is proper.
We were all kind of just there for that anyway, and so he talked about them a lot, and it was great. It was great. It was wonderful. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun being back at another Doctor Who convention. Again, I'll say, Gallifrey is great. I love Gallifrey, and sometimes it's just nice to have another quieter, because nothing can top Gallifrey 1 really in terms of hoopla and energy and weather and all that, but.
I mean, Sean Lyon is at Chicago as well.
I know. I haven't seen him yet. Haven't seen him yet, but I will probably at some point.
Seen pictures, because obviously I'm not there either. But.
You're not there either. You're back in Edmonton, and Warren, based on his introduction, is in Vancouver. So
I sure as hell am. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway,
I don't know why I'm so emphatic about it, but okay.
Yeah, there is news. There is news though to tell you about, because it's been it's the. What is it? The blowback, the aftermath of the anniversary weekend, which was last weekend, and there's promo stuff and BBC TV lineups and everything else that's going on. Like a Disney promo, a Disney Doctor Who promo that they released. Was it on? It was on Doctor Who Day, but it seems very late for us now.
This past Monday.
Was it Monday they came out?
Or Sunday? Yeah, it says 6 days ago. So
okay,
I guess Sunday as we record this.
Yeah, and it had the picture of from the Christmas special, but it said "Joy to the Worlds" on it, and we all thought, did Disney get? The
I have a conspiracy theory about this.
Oh, you do? Okay, all right.
I don't know what they might have in mind story-wise or anything else, or if it's a mistake or it isn't. But if it isn't a mistake, you could do far worse to gin up comment from the most pedantic group of fans in the world, Doctor Who fans, than this. It's like if they know what they're doing, okay, these guys are definitely going to try and actually correct us, which will get discussion going. So if it's good marketing, and Disney's not known for bad marketing, is it really?
Not really. No.
So you would think this is probably deliberate for whatever reason.
It's very, very deliberate. The remark posted by the Disney Doctor Who account does say "Joy to the World," singular, right there. So, yeah,
Interesting.
Or we could be overthinking it, as per usual.
We could
Another
be.
Doctor Who fan trope.
Yeah, I mean, it is the special. Stephen Moffat has said it's about like a time traveling hotel that that. So maybe they go to different worlds, and therefore, I mean, this is the obvious sort of thing
Maybe
that we
it's
could lean
TARDIS,
into. Who knows? Don't know. Or a typo. But if it was a typo, they would have taken it down.
it's not a typo. They would have pulled it.
They would have pulled it. It would have been gone.
They would have pulled it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have allowed
Yeah.
however many comments and all that. So
Uh-huh. I think even Russell T Davies commented on it. I think
Maybe
he
it's Claire's
commented
TARDIS.
yes. What? Well, no. I think worlds indicates planets. Warren, not.
Yeah, but the time traveling hotel could be her TARDIS flying around to these planets. I mean, I'm just making stuff off the top of my head, obviously.
Yeah, that's
I imagine it's a much less
Yes,
interesting,
as usual.
much less interesting thing happening than we got with like the 10 Doctors / the 11 Doctors Confidential back in the day that introduced Matt Smith.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
We
yeah.
we
I was
didn't.
like, where are you going with this? Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, that's right. Oh. Well, we'll find out, I suppose.
Probably more to come. I mean, apparently, there's a Radio Times link in the show notes talking about it, and apparently the BBC or the Disney account is just Disney Doctor Who account is just anytime somebody responds about that, they just say, "Oh, we're not going to talk about spoilers."
Won't get any spoilers out of us, quote unquote.
Well, we got
So that's what they
26
said.
days to wait as of now, as of recording. So
I think we can do it. I think we can wait that long, right? Pretty sure we can.
I believe so, yes.
The BBC also put out a list of all the Christmas items. I saw someone tweet the other on Doctor Who Day when they announced the War Games in Color coming to BBC 4 that there will be something on BBC, all the 4 BBCs or BBC on Christmas, being the Christmas specials on one, Joy to the World parentheses S close parentheses. And then BBC 2 will be BBC Proms with Doctor Who, the Doctor Who Proms, and then BBC 3 will be Unleashed, and then BBC 4 will be the War Games. So look at that. Yeah, I know. And we don't even know when the Proms is airing. Sometime that week of Christmas, right? They didn't actually pin down a day.
The radio broadcast has been confirmed for Christmas Day.
The radio broadcast.
At least on BBC Wales that I've
right.
seen.
But we could have listened to the radio broadcast anytime, right? We could have listened to that live.
I mean,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's going out on it's going out on Christmas Day on whatever BBC radio channel station, but the TV broadcast hasn't yet been confirmed. But I'm assuming Christmas Day is probably a safe bet.
Christmas Day, that's gonna be a lot of stuff on Christmas Day. Listen, just fair warning, kids. The Boxing Day episode or whatever that week episode is of this very podcast will be. We'll be reviewing the Christmas special and the War Games in Color because it airs December 23rd, and the BBC Proms. 3 things in one. We wait for months and then 3 things come along at once. It's kind of annoying, but it's fine.
And I'm going to have family here, so I'm going to have to wait till they all go to bed and then watch War Games in Color on my phone or something.
Oh my God. You're going to have family over. Oh, this complicates things, Warren. You know that you must shed your family links around Doctor Who Christmas time in order to watch
absolutely.
Doctor Who stuff.
That's my top priority. Absolutely.
It has to happen. What are you doing? How dare you spend
I guess I'm just not a good enough fan.
Yeah, how dare you spend the Christmas holidays with family? You should be alone and like telling everyone around you who lives around you, just don't use the internet. I need the best internet possible to watch these things.
And then explain at length why, just to further bore them.
Exactly. Go home. Go to a hotel. I will see you there.
And then be really contemptuous. Go spend time with your families. I've got mine here and I'm ignoring them because I love Doctor Who so much. Let everybody know how much I love Doctor Who. I like how I get more comic book guy the further on the sentence I get.
A little bit there, but it's gonna be a busy week. It's gonna be a busy week, that holiday week, for Doctor Who stuff. So yeah, gear up for it. I'm looking forward to it all. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to each and everything, but them all happening at once is like, oh man, if they could just shoved one just like a week earlier or something like that, we could talk about it. But no,
you got a 2-day gap between War Games and Tour of the World, so you'll find your time there whether you like it or not.
That's true.
Play them at the same time. Come on. Watch the two different monitors. You got 14 monitors at home.
Look at a lot of TVs. That's true.
Or better yet, just put on the colorized War Games beside the regular War Games.
And then I run it 3 or 4 times as the regular War Games goes by.
Yeah,
exactly.
We turned on the Pluto TV app here in the hotel room. Throw some old Doctor Who on in the background because why not? Why wouldn't you? You're at a Doctor Who convention, and it just happened to be the War Games, and it's like, I'm watching like episode 1, and episode 1 comes by, and I go, that 16mm film sure doesn't look that sharp anymore. And I was just thinking,
tisk.
Cool it's gonna look when they get the recently found HD footage in there. So in color. Anyway, Christmas is coming in a month's time. And there'll be lots of Doctor Who in it, but only at the very end, basically, is what we're saying. So business news. Are you in the UK? Well, guess what? Thanks to inflation, the BBC license fee will probably go up in 2027.
It's more of a MRA government thing. Really.
It's every year up until 2027, I think is what it is.
Oh, wow. Okay. Look at that.
Yeah. At varying rates.
April 2025.
Britons, if you don't like that, you can always move to Canada, where our upcoming prime minister probably will defund the CBC and you'll have nothing.
He'll do his best to. But then again, they've been trying to defund the CBC with conservative governments for decades in this country.
It cannot die.
He need never die. April 2025, it'll be £174 and 50 shillings, an increase of £5. Nope, it's shillings now. I've changed it. They've gone back.
Throw a goat in there.
This is what you get with Brexit. It's pre-decimalization now. They do it in shillings.
Passport's a different color. It's all in shillings.
Yep.
Back to the dark ages.
Yeah, exactly. So that's your new price if you're in the UK. But hey, you know what? You're literally talking to, or you're listening to 3 Canadians who would 100% pay that.
Absolutely.
100%. If we could pay it from Canada, we would. It was like, yes, here we go. Take it. I don't care about the exchange rate. Take the money. So we can watch Mrs. Brown's Boys at all hours of the night.
That is exactly what I would do with it, yes.
Exactly.
Maybe Wipeout. That's probably not BBC.
No, probably not. Probably not. Hey, do you want to talk about some stuff? Some tat? Is that a thing you want to talk about? There's a new Joy to the World sonic screwdriver that is pink. And it's available now. You can get it.
Now, what I'm wondering is if this is an in-story thing, if he turns it pink during the show. Probably not, but he could.
Maybe he has a special one for this episode, maybe.
Yeah, he just taps on it and it turns colors or something. Like, I'm just guessing here, but
I'm assuming it's red for Christmas.
It looks pink to me, but I'll take your word for it.
Reddish pink, yeah.
Yeah, like it's in that neighborhood.
Is it pink? I'm reading the article now. It's magenta rose.
There you go.
Iridescent magenta rose.
That sounds like some sort of shipping name.
A little bit. And
sounds like something Apple would call red. Or pink.
Kind of what it is, actually.
I don't recall any magenta.
No, magenta rose and subtle green finish. So yeah, they are going for a Christmas theme.
Patricia Quinn, who played magenta
in Rocky Horror Picture Show,
obviously was in Doctor
An
Who.
Insane person in our live show.
Yeah, that was Warren's own Rocky Horror. It
certainly was
a segment of the Radio for Skaro live show. Anyway, it's available now. I don't know if this is a Chicago TARDIS. I have apparently the 15th Doctor and Millie Gibson Ruby Sunday action dollies are not here. They're not here at the dealer's room for
that's
for
unacceptable.
purchase.
I'm looking at mine right now.
Oh, they arrived. They arrived.
Oh, yeah.
We always do. They arrive, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Standing amongst his fellow doctors.
Oh, nice.
Given the newness and those being the first ones of their ilk, I assume that had any been in the dealer's room, they would have been snapped up very early.
Probably.
That's true, too, yeah.
But no, I'm reliably informed they were never there to begin with. So
interesting.
So I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about not missing out on the first day. So
conversely, you should feel shame for not having them.
True. I'm not.
Hey, turnabout is fair play, my friend.
That's true. That is true, Warren. All right, I'll take it. I'll take my kicking. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I will. I have yet to meander through the dealer's room, but I will. I will, because I like going through dealers' rooms at conventions. It's fun to see what things I would buy but won't, because I have no room for such things.
Trundle them home.
I would indeed. What else is happening in the news today? We should have mentioned that the Doctor Who Proms runs to 109 minutes. How many hours is that? That's 1 hour 49 minutes. 49 minutes.
Yeah. That's what a movie should be. That's what a 109 minutes is.
That's right. That's like, or the 1 hour 49 minutes, or the first act of a Martin Scorsese movie.
I pick on Martin Scorsese. Come on now.
Well, because his films are 3.5 hours long. That's why.
That's because Apple gave him the money to do it. Like, if Apple gave me $1 bazillion to make I can't remember. I saw it and I can't remember the name of the damn movie.
Right?
Killers of the Flower Moon. I would certainly spread out as far as I could.
It's on a movie as much as it is an 8-hour TV series.
Well, it's like The Irishman, which is like 4 hours. I definitely spread that over 2 nights.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Not a bad movie, but you definitely need to spread over 2 nights.
No, I watched 28 minutes of that. Can I do it? No, I cannot do this for another 3 hours.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. You are not the best test subject for this.
Really? It's an old movie.
Yes, you were
it's like a new Hollywood kind of movie. You'd think I would kind of live and die by such a movie, but no, it's like...
No, it's something on Netflix, so you hate it automatically.
Well, there is that. Like the documentary.
I certainly sympathize most of the time with that.
Yeah. But it's Scorsese. I mean, how long was Goodfellas? Like 4.5 hours? Like,
good Lord.
Then he made, I think
it's under 2.
I think it's
maybe 2 and a bit.
No,
I think
two and a half.
4.5.
Yeah.
Didn't he do Gettysburg too? That was like 4 hours long.
How dare you? I'm getting sick and tired of saying how dare you, but how dare you?
You can badmouth Gettysburg all you want. That's a phenomenally made.
It is pretty good, and it is like 4 hours, but it is really good.
I haven't sideswiped Warren
both
with
that and Gods and Generals both are just
I have not seen Gods and Generals.
Amazing films.
I haven't sideswiped Warren with the Martin Scorsese thing in a while. I thought
it's been a week at least.
You gotta come with the left hook sometimes when it comes to
no, you don't. Although I did just turn about you, so I guess so.
Yeah. There we go. 2-1 now, Warren. That's the score. See how we finish at the end of this podcast.
It's not going to go well. You know who loses? The audience. That's who.
The audience does lose. What have we got here?
Speaking of the audience losing, here it comes.
So the scripts. Remember, they put the scripts for season 1 out on the Doctor Who writers' room page on Doctor Who Day, and for all of season 1, and so you could read them all, and people found that there was another musical sequence planned. It was for Space Babies, but it wasn't a musical scene like people singing. Thank God for that. But it was like they dance around and lip sync to a song
that I can
by
tolerate
Sugar
in moderation.
Babes. I don't know
if it's done well.
I think they would have added to the even more cutesies that were going on in that episode. So I'm
like
okay
Rogue. They did an okay job of that. They did actually kind of add something to the story. But if it's just there for it to be there, then meh.
Yeah, definitely.
It would have made it and Devil's Court mesh a little bit better as a 2-episode drop.
The fact that they had song numbers in them.
Devil's Court.
That we didn't really appreciate. That would be good. Yeah, that'd be all right.
Well, the twist at the end is me not liking it very much.
Yeah, that's true.
Not very much of a twist, really.
That was the very twist. Yeah, I'm not sure you were liking it very much up until that point, anyway. But
no, there's 1 or 2 scenes that are really good, and then the rest is I do not care.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can reenact that. I don't know what Sugar Babes is. I don't know what the Sugar Babes is. It's probably a song from like 2005, but it feels like
I think
new.
It is around that. I mean, I'm no pop expert, but I think that is kind of around the neighborhood it's in.
Right.
Well, it's called Push the Button.
Push the Button, because they probably pushed the button is what they did, and then a song called Push the Button played, and everyone would have laughed and fallen about thinking how clever they were.
Correct me, please don't. But I'm thinking they're kind of like another All Saints is kind of the general idea, but I could be very wrong about that.
Manufactured girl band kind of thing.
That sort of thing.
It was on their album, lead single from their album, Taller in More Ways. 2005.
I was right about the 2005. I think I read that 2005 in the article before I closed it, which is 4 minutes ago, because I'm done talking about musical segments of Doctor Who.
That's fair.
Yeah. Doctor Who magazine 611 comes out this coming week here, and the cover of it has a couple of callbacks to the 11th hour, because it's Ncuti Gatwa. He's wearing like a Arthur Dent-esque house coat, or a Christmas Invasion-esque house coat, you might say, and he's reading a copy of the Timey-Wimey. It's a newspaper that's called that, and one of the headlines is Duck Pond Mystery Solved, and another
Which
one
is great.
Yeah, is Prisoner Zero Found Innocent.
Remember how we pondered that for some stupid reason?
We did. Why is there a pond with no ducks in it? And they never gave us a direct and...
Well, now we have our answer. Thank
now we
God.
do. It's on page 3 of the Timey-Wimey Times.
Also, if it's the Timey-Wimey Times, you know the War Doctor did not publish that newspaper.
That's true. Does not cater to such frivolity in his language. So...
there's also a thing, Prisoner Zero Found Innocent. And some other stuff that I can't read because I'm zoomed in and it's illegible to my...
It's tough. Something about
my eyes.
a Utopia pullout special. I can't see if... I don't know if that's the Utopia of, Derek Jacobi's Master Utopia or not, but... I wonder if somebody has uprooted this. I bet you when the magazine comes out, and people will be with their little fine-tuned combs and their magnifying glasses.
By people, you mean you?
Me, yeah. No, people have done it already. People do that better than I do. I don't care about such things, Warren. People will tell me that. I want to see if it was on like what kind of videotape was that. Okay, let's zoom in on this.
That's reasonable.
Out,
now that is reasonable as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Gotta divide your strengths and let other people do stuff that they are better at. So, and on next Wednesday or Thursday, people will be digging deep into that cover to see what else they could find when it comes to Easter eggs. But, what else is happening? Some big Finnish stuff. The next War Master box sets, His Greatest Trick, with Derek Jacobi, is coming out October of next year, and Deeds Without Names is due a year after that, October 25 and 26.
That sounds suitably creepy.
That is crazy. God, that's epic. That's like Marvel Cinematic Universe level planning. Like, order now to get something in 2 years. That's crazy, but they're doing it.
It's like the Jodie Whittaker audio is running for like 2 years as well, but there's 12 of those or some such.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Like Sacha,
a little more regular releases than this one.
By the way, big Finnish update. I listened to Joe Martin's debut,
the Coda, Once and Future
the
Coda.
Name of which, thank you, the Coda one. Yeah, I can't remember the title, even though I listened to it a couple days ago.
Right.
With her and the War Master and the Vord, and it's enjoyable fun, I would say.
Oh, good.
It's an hour's worth of time travel shenanigans and what have you.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. Yeah, there are 3 episodes I think is coming out next year at some point, and Sacha Dhawan has a sort of a 3-part thing also coming out, which he talks about in the interview to come here. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that they especially Joe Martin's Doctor, because it's she is basically creating or revealing a Doctor that we've never even seen. It's not a really continuation of what we see on screen like other Big Finish Doctors. You know what I mean?
And in the context, sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say there's got to be a massive amount of freedom there.
He's going to go into that, yeah. Her and the War Doctor both have no idea what the hell the other person's about, right? So because they're both very mysterious, so they play off of that a bit. And I'm not going to go into how, but they do play off it a bit in the episode.
Fun. Well, all that to come and more, including the Sirens of Time, of course, the redux of Sirens of Time, the first ever Big Finish story, which has been remastered with new visual effects for an audio story. The redux,
it's in color now.
Yeah,
vid fired.
They vid fired the ADAT. I think they probably recorded on like ADAT back in 1999.
Yes, we actually big reveal. We found a 16 millimeter print of we specifically, a 16 millimeter print of the audio from the Sirens of Time.
We talked to the original film editor of the
when they
audio.
distributed it back to other countries on 16 mil.
They did. Big Finish in the early days. You don't know this. They actually had to make telecines of audio recordings and send them off to different countries. And they found one of the 16 millimeter films. And they
let's say Nairobi. Why not? Now they get to. Now they made a new version of it.
It's a lot more effective than when they had to resurrect John Kira to take telesnaps of.
Hey, listen, if you have to go against nature and God, you're going to do that for telesnaps.
Damn right you are. Damn, just to hang on a little bit longer. Take some pictures of the space pirates, please, and then
this is going on Steven's list of crimes against
yeah, I know,
the space-time vortex, including time traveling to save missing episodes. I don't know why you're to blame since I came up with the idea.
John Kira's untimely death is just vexing me because he didn't make it to the space pirates.
I just have a picture of you in black and white in a lab going, live! Why are we doing this exactly? Oh, so we can get telesnaps.
Telesnaps, like you could just operate the
Igor's
camera too.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
To go back to your earlier quote, he must never die.
He must never die. Exactly. Or just get someone else to. Can you just?
Or he need never die. Rather.
Do you know someone who just press to do some pictures for 6 weeks in?
You're eventually going to become Sutek for all this to happen.
Just going to be traveling around on
And I just want one promise: don't be Dog Sutek, be Helmet Sutek.
I would be Helmet Sutek.
This is Steven's villain origin story.
Exactly.
It is. I'm clinging on to every reel-to-reel tape recorder or something in history
As they fly through
space and time, recording off-air copies of Doctor Who.
I do not like AI art, but I would like to create that for our title, for the title card for this episode.
Yeah, well, you don't.
No, I won't, obviously,
no.
Principled reasons.
Yeah, you use your money for better ideas, which is the massive charity auction for BBC Children in Need coming in February 2025. A ton of stuff, Doctor Who's 13th Doctor outfit with a scarf. That's up for auction. A Dalek, a battle-damaged Dalek is up for auction. 11th Doctor's outfit from Series 6 is up there. A Weeping Angel costume, for crying out loud. Massive, massive things of great value are up for, and that's just scratching. That's just the stuff that have pictures in the article, all right, that I could see easily as I scroll through this. But yeah, it's and this is after what Kylie Minogue's costume from Voyage of the Damned went for $12,000. 12,000 shillings, of course.
That's surprising. It should be more than that.
It says,
it's more than the TARDIS, which is kind of creepy.
Yeah,
a whole TARDIS went for less than Kylie Minogue's costume, and
Kylie fans are a whole other level, though. So you'd think it would.
She was in the I didn't watch it, but I was slipping by on Thanksgiving. She was in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in the United States. And I thought, is she going to talk about her time on Doctor Who? And she's probably not. She's going to sing a song.
Her time more than 10 years ago on Doctor Who.
what when you were Doctor Who 17 years ago?
17 years ago,
talk
almost
about
18.
Every American announcer is certainly clamoring to hear about that, I'm sure.
As you know, Kylie Minogue.
Welcome to Good Morning America. Let's hear from Kylie Minogue and her role in Doctor Who 17 years ago.
Did you know I was in Doctor Who
Massive
17 years
drop
ago?
Across the U.S.
Yep. And my costume outsold a TARDIS at a Children in Need auction.
And some ex-football players, the what?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. None of that made sense.
The blurb says the auction will include primary costumes from 4 doctors.
Wow.
So we saw the 11th and 13th, but there's at least 2 more out there.
Wonder which ones they are.
Weeping Angel statues, a Traitor Dalek, and a 50th anniversary TARDIS.
Oh, 50th anniversary TARDIS.
You can get Richard E. Grant's costume. It's actually paper. It's true. Paper costume
from Scream of the Shulk.
Yeah, but it is human size. You can actually wear it as a costume.
It's true.
Very briefly before you tear it apart.
The original real-time animation files, which fit on basically,
Exactly.
A stick, a thumb drive.
Yeah, it's just a floppy disk, actually.
Just a floppy disk.
Just keep in your pocket.
The original floppy disk of Scream of the Shulka. Anyway, Another charity auction. Rachel Talalay has offered this up. A signed Doctor Who David Tennant 60th anniversary gum bichromate print. Now, Chris or Warren, explain to me and or the listeners what a gum bichromate is.
My explanation is old-timey.
Okay. Chris, do you have a better one?
Well, a print is a single frame of... I don't know.
Good.
The blurb,
I'm learning. Yeah.
I have no idea what this is. The blurb just says gum bichromate is a historical photographic technique known for its difficulty, yet this print showcases an impressive mastery of the medium. Talalay has worked with this process for 3 years, and this print represents her best color separation to date, achieving a softness on the faces that beautifully...
Color separation. Yeah, just sorry.
Okay. Answer me now!
Back on target. Sorry.
Achieving a softness on the faces that beautifully contrasts with the intricate details of the TARDIS rotor.
Wow. It does look cool. It does look very, very cool.
Yeah, it does. It's crazy to see a 2024 thing that looks like an 1884 thing.
Yeah, I know. It's like a personal photo that she took on set because she directed the damn thing, and then she made this thing, and so it's a pretty cool one-off piece of art.
It's like the world of people who collect Simpsons or whatever other animation cells.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Because like for the Simpsons, for example, they did
Right.
11, 12, whatever number of years, all hand drawn, and then they switched to fully digital.
Oh yeah.
So such things haven't existed in decades.
That's true.
That's when the Simpsons went downhill.
Kind of. Yeah.
Same with Doctor Who stuff. I mean, everything's been shot digital for how long now? So I mean, things like still frames and this and that, as we once would have known them,
Right.
don't exist,
and are therefore much more valuable.
Yeah.
This is a gun bichromate. It is worth something. This is an arm. It is worth nothing. That's what he would probably say.
But
Referencing the Simpsons there.
This auction doesn't look like it's had any bids yet, but
Get on it, Chris. Come on.
Well, it only just started. Talalay just tweeted this earlier this morning as we record this. 13 days left in the auction. All the bid supports ACLU Southern California. So
yeah, no, she's been announcing it for a few days now.
Okay,
but, even still,
it's a big
even
thing.
still, I mean, it's estimated to go for about $1,000. So
this is high stakes stuff here. TARDISes and Kylie Minogue costumes and one-off gum bichromate artwork from Rachel Talalay.
If I wasn't unemployed, aka a bum, I would think about doing it. But since I am,
true. Yeah, it doesn't have to be you. Don't feel guilty for having to do this. But our job is to spread the word for perhaps people who would want.
There you go.
Yeah.
All I can say is next time you see your $50 shooting out action figure, it's like, okay, that's not so bad. Versus
50, you say? Well,
versus £12,000 for Kylie Minogue outfit, screen worn.
One of those I'm going to own and already do. The other one I will never own for a bunch of different reasons.
Oh, you bought the Kylie Minogue outfit? Gosh.
That's right, I did.
He did.
Wearing it right now.
You'll
never know.
Oh man. I'm disturbed. Last on the news, speaking of not disturbed at all, Toby Haydock's yearly thing, Absent Friends, which is where Toby goes through and chronicles, he celebrates the lives of the people in the sci-fi community who we lost over the past year, including this year will be a trio of 99-year-olds with David Graham, William Russell, and Izan Churchman all passed on this past year at the age of 99. So it's not as doom laden as you would think. It's a lovely tribute to these fine people, and Toby does a wonderful job. Of course, anyway, that's coming to BBC Radio, Radio 4X probably on Sunday the 29th. We'll remind you in the jam-packed December 26th episodes that's coming in 3 days. But
it's a 15 minute thing, and I haven't seen him say anything yet about his annual in memoriam YouTube.
That usually comes out right on
retrospective thing.
Like he waits
usually
the
New Year's.
the very last second. Does anybody else?
Reason, probably.
Anybody else? Okay, we're good. Go print it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I imagine that, or hope rather, that's still a thing. Because that's always speaking of fantastic tributes. That's amongst them.
It's good stuff. Yeah. All right, that's it for our news. After the very short break, it's my interview from Chicago TARDIS with Sacha Dhawan and Joe Martin. Hey, Chicago TARDIS, how you doing? My name is Steven Shapansky. I am the host of a Doctor Who podcast called Radio Free Skaro. I was last at this... Thank you so much. I was at this convention last 5 years ago. It is great to see you all again. It is great to be back on the main stage doing interviews for you like the one you're here to see today. Let's introduce our two guests, how about, in order of appearance. We first met him as Waris Hussein in Adventure in Space and Time in 2013. We then saw him in 2020 as the mysterious O. I'm looking at it right now to see if he recognizes his cue, but you can call him Master. It's Sacha Dhawan.
Hey. Hello.
And it all started out as a mild curiosity as a tour guide in Gloucester, but it's become
quite a great spirit of adventure, don't you think? It's Doctor Who herself, Jo Martin. How y'all doing?
Good, we're doing good. Jet lag's messing with my brain.
Right?
You know what I mean? I'm also menopausal, so I'll let you know that. So, you know, let's see what happens.
All right. Similar issues, Sacha, or...
Well, am I on the menopause?
Yeah, is that...
No, he's on the HRT, he's fine.
Okay.
He's fine.
I'm good. Yeah, it's good to be here.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I just went outside and I just didn't realise how cold it was. I thought my ears were about to fall off. But, so I've got a nice British cup of tea here. So.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, our guests are running on fumes a little bit. A packet of crisps and a cup of tea. So we'll do our best to power through. Are you jealous of Sacha's tea at this point?
No. No.
Well,
I've got vodka in there.
Oh!
No, I'm joking. I haven't. No, I haven't.
I don't know. Well, let's start at the beginning. How, Sacha, we'll start with you, because you started first at Doctor Who. How did you come to be involved as the master in Doctor Who?
So I'd worked with the executive producer of Doctor Who, Matt Strevens. He produced Adventure in Space and Time. And he dropped me a call and asked if I'd be interested in playing the Master, and I said, "Oh, that's great." And then I went on Google and went, "Who is the Master?" and it was great. I said yes to it, but I sent Chris Chibnall and Matt a tape of me doing the scene on the plane, just so I could at least show them what I was going to do. And they said, "It's great, just bring it all down a bit." No, but they were the first people to see what my incarnation was going to be like, and that's how it all worked out.
You didn't necessarily have to audition against other actors that you knew of, or was it like you just getting offered straight up?
I mean, obviously I've never played a character like this, so it's credit to Matt really for seeing someone like me stepping into those shoes. It was great. I'm always grateful to him. He's an amazing producer.
Mm-hmm. And then there's you, Joe.
There's me.
Who was not called to be on the correct... you were not auditioning for the part that you thought you were, by what I understood.
I had to audition, and my eldest boy, my boy Amal, is a great big Whovian, and he loves the Doctor Who's. And he's always saying to me, "Oh, Mom, when are you going to get a part on one of those shows? All your friends do it, and you don't get no..." And I was like, I don't know. And then the call came in, and it said that she's playing somebody's wife, you know. And I was like, "Oh, I've got..." And he was like, "Oh, great. Something I can watch," because he doesn't watch anything that I do. And then did the audition, and then got offered, I think it was the day after. Yeah. And they came across me. Obviously, I have a body of work, but they were big fans of a comedy show I used to do called Back to Life, which was a BBC production, which is still on Netflix, on BBC iPlayer, if you want to watch it. It's very funny. And they were huge fans of that. I don't know why they thought, because the character I play in Back to Life, she's a mess. I don't know why they thought, "Oh, she'd be perfect," you know. And so that's how I got that job.
When did they... Go ahead.
No, sorry, I wanted to ask, did they say you're going to be playing one of the
No!
Doctors in it?
If I'd known I was going to be playing the Doctor, I wouldn't be sat here today, Sacha. I would have blown, I would have overthought it, I would have been a mess, I would have been like, "Oh my God." I would have just got too stressed, I think. Wow, yeah. You know what I mean? So I had no idea. And also, just consider it. You know, if I hadn't done a decent job in the audition, and I knew it was the Doctor, I didn't get the part, I'd be walking streets going, "I was meant to play the Doctor!" and ruin it for someone else. So they couldn't tell the people. I don't know who else they saw.
So then when you got the part, so I feel like I'm interested,
yeah.
I've got a couple of other questions.
Yeah.
And then also a few for you as well. But then once you got the part, did they say?
Yeah, then they said, my agent called me, and then she said, "Do you mind if Chibnall calls you?" And then they went, "You are going to be our Doctor, a new Doctor." And the thing is about you guys is that any secrets that Doctor Who have, you guess it before it happens. You always find out. I don't know what kind of sixth sense you guys have got, but I think what was clever about the episode where I was introduced was that you had the surprise of everyone thought it was Captain Jack. Yeah. They said, they think they're keeping a secret. It's Captain Jack's coming back. And I was like, yeah, you don't know. You don't know. And I think it really worked because it's so nice to have a surprise. Do you know what I mean? Even my son, the surprise that he had, I'll never forget him kicking off his slippers in the front room and running around the place. What are you doing? What's going on? You know, and yeah, incredible.
Do you think they hid your actual character identity from you because they knew that maybe you would not perform to the you know what I mean? Like you would sort of spoil your own audition kind of thing, or
no? It was just, I think it's just purely because it's supposed to be a massive secret, right. And if I hadn't got the gig, I may have had sour grapes and walk streets saying, yeah, they're going to be casting another Doctor. So it wouldn't have paid off to have told me that. And it played into my hands that you didn't tell me because I was a lot calmer about the audition. I was like, oh, yeah, come on, yeah. But I was a bit like, why is she flying a TARDIS? Anyway.
Right. So you probably weren't like Sacha where you had to Google who is the Doctor then.
Oh, I've been watching Doctor Who from behind cushions from when I was a little girl.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not shaming you, Sacha.
I mean, I obviously knew of Doctor Who, but I didn't know...
You didn't know the significance of the Master.
The Master, I didn't know. I mean, I also didn't realise that I was the first person to refer to it as the Master as opposed to the Master. It's my northernness, which I didn't realise either. You know.
The Master.
Yeah.
They did tell you to retake that. Could you say that differently, please?
Yeah, no, they're like, no, keep that in. That works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, could you have even gone back, Joe, to look at previous Doctors perform? Like, that's the thing. Did you, like Sacha, did you go back and look at previous Master performances before that?
Well, I started to watch a little bit of John Sim, and then I just stopped because I thought I'd end up mimicking what other Masters had done. And actually, Chris and Matt said to me, look, yes, it's Doctor Who, but approach it like you will with any other character and put your own stamp on it. Otherwise, it's not. That's why we've cast you. Right. And actually, that took some of the pressure off, really, because it is Doctor Who, and it's the Whoniverse. You end up sometimes putting so much pressure on yourself, you can end up overcomplicating it. So once they gave me that blessing, I had the freedom to put my own stamp on it and my own interpretation.
Mm-hmm. But now, Joe, I mean, you technically don't know that you're the Doctor until you go through the looking glass and then you become Doctor Who. So would it have even helped for you to go back and watch like Tom Baker or something?
No, I mean, but I've been watching it from when I was a kid. So I've been through loads of Doctors, and then my boy watching them all, making us watch them again with him. So but I just think that every Doctor comes with their version, and you have to just have faith in yourself as the actor to find what it is about your Doctor that's going to be different. Do you know what I mean? It's not about overthinking it and going, no, I have to be really different. I got to, it came quite naturally, actually. It just, because it was written so well, right, that episode. And so, and also the costume helped a great deal. I just thought it was an amazing choices we made with the costumes. And she had this kind of structure about her within the costume and within her character, and she's a kind of like control freak a bit, and so I went with that, and I based it on someone that I know, but I won't mention their name.
Did you have a say in the costume a little bit, like the great little
kente cloth? It's a Ghanaian print, it's an African print.
Yeah. And the coat and the glasses, like how much did you actually... Now that you knew you were the Doctor, you could probably like...
went to town. I'm like, I want a hat, I want this, I want that. We had a lot of talks, and he had some really strong ideas already. And we just kind of merged our ideas, and it came out really, really well, And the glasses were... I remember one day we were just in town and he went, there's a really nice glasses shop, Joe. Let's have a look and mooch around. And I was like, they're not going to let me wear glasses because everybody wants to see your eyes, And but we found these glasses, and I was like, bad glasses. Oh my gosh! And then it was the fight to find places where my character could wear them, because in every scene the director would be like, could Joe take the glasses off? We can't. And he would be beside us like, oh. But I just worked a thing where now, when she arrives in the scene, she has them on, and as she's saying her first line, I generally take them off. And then on the last line, when I'm finishing talking, I then put them back on. Yeah, it's classic. It's classic. No one else would have thought of that, just me.
But Joe, I mean, what Joe's saying is, as well, that there is so much history as part of Doctor Who, but actually at the same time, when you're playing these iconic characters, they do give you a sense of ownership. I really got to have a lot of conversations with Chris in terms of where the Master would go, and he's basing a lot of stuff on your interpretation. And the same with our costume designer, Ray. He said, what are you thinking for the Master costume? And I was like, what? You're asking me? What?
Yeah, right.
What? He goes, yeah, well, this is your character. What are you thinking? And so I sent him loads of kind of steampunk, kind of indie bands, Arctic Monkeys, pictures. And then Ray slowly collated pieces of costume. And then he said, it's a really good coat. Actually, that was made... They made Jodie's jacket, and they've got one left in the window, and it might just fit you. And and as soon as I remember that moment of him in his studio putting that jacket on, and we were like, there he is, I've got to find that video. I said, call that camera on the phone, just film me parading around for a bit. Because I was just these moments that you're just like, I've got to remember this. This is no one else has seen it. It's just me, Ray, and the people that work with Ray. It's like 4 people in a room seeing like this. This is the costume. This is so. Yeah, it's great having that ownership.
Like, I think the one you're referring to is like the Spyfall Part 2 one. I think is where you sort of settle in.
That's it. So the purple coat,
and like the check trousers. A lot of nerds like us sort of like wait a minute, is that like a nod to Patrick Troughton?
It's exactly yeah. So it's bits of that, but also I wanted to kind of like a bit of. Kind of use it in the UK, kind of a 2 fingers up to the rest of the Doctors by taking kind of punky, but taking elements of the Doctor. And then also with the coat, I guess I got that from William Hartnell in An Adventure in Space and Time, holding the lapels, you know? Mm-hmm. So it was taking bits of that and then turning them on their head. And then when in The Power of the Doctor, when I become the Doctor for about 1 minute, it was a real mesh of... Doctors all together.
And a good thing that Jodie's coats apparently fit you, so they probably didn't have to do too much resizing.
Not at all. And then the earring as well was worked perfectly.
Yep. Did you learn the recorder song, Skyboat song?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I've got videos of me on my own sending it to Chris of playing the recorder and, da, 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 da. Oh, God, people were sick of hearing that.
You didn't need to, probably. That's the thing, though. You didn't feel like you needed to play that song, or you thought there's a recorder here, I have to use it.
I've got to do it, yeah. I've got to look like I can play it. And actually, no one told me that. They didn't tell me that they would do that in post. I thought I had to,
Right.
And on the day, it sounded awful. Like with the Rasputin dance, I'm sure I read in the script that he dances, and he doesn't. I don't know why I read that. And just broke out into a dance, and they kept it.
I can't leave that lying there. Chris Chibnall says there's about like a full 8-minute take or something of you doing dancing to Raw Rasputin, the Power of the Doctor. Is that the case?
That's true. And the next day, on the day, I was doing kicking my legs out, and I was invincible. The next day, I couldn't walk.
Your knees would have been shot. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
How did they shoot? How do you shoot a scene like that? Do they just say dance and we'll just keep filming?
Well, they didn't say dance in it, but we were. There's a lot to shoot, and we're running really behind. And Jamie didn't say much. Let's just go for it, see what happens. But we can't talk too much. Let's just go. And they just carried on rolling. They put the music on, and they rolled. And in the studio, they turned all the lights into like a disco. So that was my cue. I thought, okay, might as well throw some shapes. And also, I just thought it'd be really funny to see Rasputin dance. I think it's like it was so good.
And it worked. What was it like working with Jodie Whittaker and the team then? Because they seemed like a pretty tight, friendly unit, but also like very welcoming. Was that your?
Totally. It's very inclusive. Like these Doctor Who fans, it's all about inclusion. And as soon as you walk on that set, you know, they're wrapping their arms around you, and everyone knew, you know, that, you know, your first day, you're feeling a certain amount of pressure. You know, no matter how much you go, I'm not taking it on, I'm just doing my thing, it's another job, I'm just an actor. But you do, it was kind of on your shoulders. But the minute I started talking with Jodie and Mandeep, it was fine. Everyone was just normal and kind and giving and generous and funny. We had a giggle. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We have a real giggle, and a lot of the crew have been there for years. They've not just plucked them out of nowhere. They're a part of the whole thing. It's a family, as you said. You know, so yeah.
What about you, Sacha?
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching Jodie's first episode and the new companions, that new era, as it were. And there was so much press, so much attention to it, and I was excited as the audience seeing Jodie, going, "Oh, that's Mandeep is the companion, another young British South Asian actress. Oh, it's fantastic." But I didn't think in a couple of years, like a year or so, year later, that I'd be stepping into that world.
Right.
So my first scene was in South Africa, and I remember being on set, and I hadn't met Jodie or Tosin or Mandeep yet, and I went into the makeup trailer. I was so nervous. And Jodie, she goes, "All right, mate, oh, congrats, you know, welcome." Right. And it just totally puts you at ease. And that's the same with the crew as well in Cardiff. They're so amazing, and I don't think I would have done the work that I did without the team of crew and actors, because they make you feel so relaxed, and they allow you to play as well. And there's a lot to do, particularly for Jodie. She has so much to do, but she still retains such a positive attitude, and she's the only actress I've known that I've worked with who's what we call number one on the call sheet, the lead role, whose trailer door is always open at lunch for anybody to come in.
She talks to everyone the same way, the cleaner, the biggest exec, the runner. No one gets any special treatment. Mm-hmm. Everyone's special. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And as you said, her door is always open. And you don't get that with number ones. They become very kind of reclusive sometimes. I don't know what that's about, but hey.
You're probably grateful that, you know, you got to be Doctor Who, but didn't have to learn the reams of scientific dialogue that Jodie Whittaker's would talk.
I still had to learn reams of scientific dialogue. I mean, gee whiz, have you not seen what some that we had a scene Jodie and I had to do where we had the same lines, so we had to mirror each other. Right. Do you know how bloody hard that is? I mean, we were just stressing out, because every time we'd be getting it wrong, we'd start getting the giggles, we'd be like, we'd start impersonate each other. It was just, you know. And then I had to talk Jadoon language. Yeah. Yeah? Have you tried that? Trust me, I was on the phone all the time. So, how do you pronounce the first show? It's for sure. What is it? I was just like oh my goodness. Yeah, you maybe not as much as what Jodie had to do, because my God, she has to learn at a rate of, I don't know how fast her brain can work, and she's got kids.
Right.
You know, and words that don't even exist. Mm-hmm. And, but yeah, it's a lot. It really is. And but I loved it, and especially now I can speak Jadoon now, so it's all good.
Yeah. But it's not seeing Jodie. Obviously, there's the dialogue. But when I was the Doctor for like 5 minutes, right. Luckily I didn't have to say any of that big dialogue. Oh. But I just realised as well. Like, I have a moment when I'm like operating the TARDIS, and Mandeep went, "Yeah, you don't fly it like that." Jodie would. Okay, let me show. And I thought, God, you've got to learn all of that as well. Yeah, that does that, that does that, that does, and go. And I was like, and honestly, I was so glad to hand that costume back. I was like, I'll just stick to the master, thanks. Mess stuff up and then just leave. And
no, flying a TARDIS is no joke.
Yes.
And I made the schoolgirl error of, in our business, we've got the whole thing of continuity. So you may shoot the scene, you go wide, you do it this. Anything you did in the wide, you got to do it again, and you got to do it again, you got to do it again. So you try and keep things simple, or mark things on this line. I did this and da da da. Well, as soon as I walked on that set and I saw the TARDIS, I said, "This is your TARDIS." I was like doing the scene. I was like, push this button, flick this switch, turn this thing, da da da. And then it's like, right, we're going again. We're coming into the close. And then the continuity person comes and says, Joe, on this line, you flick that button, then you push this thing. Do you know how maddening you could ruin your performance based on all the gadgets? I was like, what was I thinking? I shouldn't have pressed it. I should have just left it to one flick and turned one little gadget and left it at that. But I was like a kid in a sweet shop, you know. But anyway.
They built a TARDIS for the Master in Spyfall Part 2. It was a last-minute kind of addition. And so they had to put together the TARDIS really quickly. So my TARDIS, I remember grabbing it and just something came off. I was like, is that a hanger? I mean, it was really like... And I thought, actually, it feels quite right for the Master.
I just think things haven't changed in 60 years.
Yeah. It was... In the scene, you could see it was wobbling.
I mean, Jodie Whittaker, obviously the first woman doctor, opened a lot of doors. I mean, I'm sitting here with the first South Asian actor to play the Master and the first black doctor right here. I mean, were you...
Woo!
Yeah. Were you aware of the significance of appearing on that screen and say, you know, I'm the doctor, basically?
Very aware.
Yeah.
I mean, very aware. If you think that I grew up with this show and I'd be, you know, wrapping my cousins in foil, or my mum's foil, and they'd have to be the Daleks, and I'd be like, I'm the doctor. And they'd be like, no, you can't be the doctor because A, you're not a man, and B, you're black, you know. So it was always something that, you know, I hadn't seen myself. And so on getting off of this role, and then the day we shot the scene where, you know, the reveal happens, and Jodie's there going, who the hell? And I'm there, and at that line where I say, you know, let me take it from the top, I'm the doctor. I actually had to stop because I got choked because all I could see was my little 9-10-year-old self, and it was too emotional for me, and it didn't want it to be an emotional. That moment she had to be quite strong, and I was just flip-flopping because I got very tearful, and so we had to take a little time out, take some deep breaths, pinch myself, and go, my gosh, this is real. Let's honor this for all these little girls out there, you know, and girls of colour who've never really seen themselves presented in this fashion, and got on with it, you know. But no, it wasn't wasted on me at all. And I still get the amount of correspondence I get from around the world of women of colour, girls of colour, who are always championing. I mean, there was a lady I met today, actually, where there she is. She messed me up. You messed me up. I was in the middle of the photo shoot, and she just said some words that just resonate a certain kind of way, and I had to take a little time before I could go on to the next picture because I got, again, quite tearful. I'm a crier. And then I was told, we've got 8 minutes! Get on with it! So I had to fix up, dry my tears. But yeah, it's quite something. From Brazil to Australia, Aborigines, New Zealand, America, the UK, it's quite something.
You're here.
Yeah.
Yep. I suppose being the first South Asian to play one of the worst people in the universe is probably not something to hang a hat on, Sacha, but it still is a notable achievement.
It's iconic to play the Master, and actually, it's good to play. Being a British South Asian actor that's playing someone that is multi-layered, complex, that isn't just so earnest, the nice guy that's representing his community. You know,
boring.
Yeah, it's a bit boring. It's an interesting character. And it was a big moment for me. I'm so incredibly proud of it. And sometimes I do have to kind of reflect on it. I think, wow, I'm part of that history. It's just so important, very representative of the time that we're in. But I also think Jodie's era was across the whole seasons. How many was it? 1, 2, 3, 3.
3 seasons.
3 seasons.
Yeah.
Was so inclusive of people from all different backgrounds, and that is very representative of the Doctor Who community. You know, I kind of wish it would happen a little sooner, mightn't I? Considering, you know, Waris Hussein was the first British, the first director of Doctor Who. You know. And also then to have I played Boris as well. It was
Yep.
a very kind of full circle moment. So yeah, it's something I don't take for granted. But also, I feel from a British South Asian point of view, we should be seeing more of these characters on screen. Not the Master, but complex, multi-layered characters.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious, because you, Sacha, were on the Season 8 Blu-ray set, where they had you watching old Master Roger Delgado performances from 1971. Was that your first time watching like previous Masters at all?
I'd seen early Doctor Who's
right.
For an Adventure in Space and Time, but you're right, that was the first time I could then relax and watch other people's performances.
Right.
And I was like, I'm better than that. I'm better than him. No, I wasn't at all. I was actually, which I kind of knew would happen, and I was saving it. I was watching Roger Delgado, and that I used a little bit of for The Power of the Doctor. There's certain bits of stuff that just the stillness, the Rasputin stuff, that kind of aspect of it, I nicked a little bit of that from watching
the
it.
hypnotism bits, because he used to hypnotize people a lot more.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm really glad it was a perfect moment to watch all of that stuff just before I'm going to the Power of the Doctor, because I also knew my own incarnation, but I also wanted to do. I always had like a real attachment to, even though I hadn't seen loads of stuff, I'd seen maybe little bits. Roger Delgado, so I wanted in some way to do a little nod to him, really.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Of course, you never leave Doctor Who because it always comes after you. Now you are both, of course, reprising your roles in Big Finish plays to come. What's it like to be back into the world of Doctor Who, this time in audio form?
Oh, amazing. I mean, big audio. I didn't know anything about it until when I was approached, and then I saw the whole world that they create and the work that they do, which is amazing. And going down there and hanging out at their studios, again, another big family. And the scripts that they offered me were just tremendous. I know one of them's out now, is it? It was nearly out?
Dakota, Once in Future.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. See, hold it up high. Let them know.
There it is right there.
Let them know. And getting the chance to kind of delve a bit deeper into the Fugitive Doctor, and to sort of, because she's kind of, I want to say one-dimensional, that you see this kind of fierce, this strong, she knows what she's doing, she's, very decisive, but in fact, there is another side to her, like for us all, and she has this vulnerable side that we see a bit of, and where she doesn't really know what she's doing. And I think that's really interesting to see her flaws as well as all these positive attributes that she has, So it's been fun, and also, I don't have to worry about the continuity. I ain't got to worry about any buttons I got to press, and no makeup, no costumes. Because, I mean, that costume, let me tell you, I cannot afford to put on an inch of weight because, you see, it's so fitted. And every time I get the call saying, Joe, you come back and do a bit on the thing, Ray will be like, are you still the same size, Joe? And I always lie and go, oh, yeah, I think I'm a few pounds lighter, in fact. And then I go nil by mouth for the whole month before I have to step on set and it's such an expensive costume, you can't really gonna get another version of it. They can let it out a little bit. There's only so many Spanx you can wear. You know what I mean? So doing the audio, I can be a bit of a slob. And it's lovely. Yeah. Yay, clap that, of course.
Are you a slob at Big Finish recordings too, Sacha?
Yeah, I've got my, what is it, the spandex?
Yeah.
I've got mine on now.
You've got your Spanx on.
Spanx on. I heard that it was going to happen, the Master spin-off, and I was waiting for the call. I was like, when's this coming? It's a bit embarrassing. But yes, we've finished recording all of them now, and like Joe was saying, it's some amazing writers, because I'm like, where are they going to... I mean, with this character, it's amazing the directions that you can take him in, and the writers have certainly delivered on that. Each episode is like its own standalone episode in a way. But it always showcases a different aspect of the Master, certain aspects that I wasn't even aware existed, and it's great that they've delved into that. And it was great to get back into his shoes again, but it was odd. You know, I remember on the first day, just like, oh God, how did I play him again? How did this? And then the laugh, and then it's back in it again. But yeah, I've always thought as well, like, even though I've done my incarnation, if I was to ever come back, I'd love to keep the audiences on their toes and do something different, because I still feel that, have the audience truly seen my full incarnation of that character? Have they seen the real Master? And so I guess doing the Big Finish audiobooks, I got to show different aspects that people may have not seen yet, particularly the Master's vulnerability. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's an epic journey as always. And,
it's getting you ready for your spin-off.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, for you, Joe, you basically have to create a brand new Doctor for audio, because, other actors who have played it are basically continuations of their established TV roles, fitted in where they, wherever. You have a blank canvas now.
Yeah. So, I did anything. No one could stop me.
Right.
No, but I feel like the work I had to do for the TV series, that put me in good stead, because I had to do all that work. No matter how long or short your appearance was going to be, you had to put in that work and know who and what she was. I had to do all the stuff that you do for any part, So when you say that, you could just invent anything for the audio, no, it's very much what I created there. Mm-hmm. But you hadn't seen it all.
Right.
So I was able to do more, but yeah. So I wasn't really having to find a new character for the Doctor, because I felt like I had her, and I just had to expand on it some more, and these scripts are really, really good. I don't think the fans are going to be disappointed in some of the stories and some of the places they take the fugitive Doctor to the edge, and she comes back.
Looking forward to it. We do have a microphone there if anybody wants to line up and ask questions. While you people decide on that, I want to ask each of you about a recent project outside of Doctor Who that I've heard about. Joe, there is a show, I think, on PBS now called the Marlowe Murder Club that you are a part of.
Yeah.
I think I heard a couple hoots. Maybe people have already seen it. I think it just came to PBS like last month or something like that.
Yeah.
What's that show about?
Okay, it's a mad show. It's kind of like, if anyone's seen Death in Paradise, it's kind of Death in Paradise in Marlowe, and it's about these three amateur sleuths. I'm being one of them. Samantha Bond, who some of you may know, is a great British actress, older British actress, who used to be Moneypenny in the Bond films back in the day. She plays a retired archaeologist. I play a single mum who runs a dog walking business. And of course we have the vicar's wife. And the three of us catch serial killers. We catch serial killers in Marlowe. Marlowe's a very dangerous place.
Right.
Don't let the picturesque her pictures fool you. It's beautiful, it's really calm, but underneath, oh my goodness, there's a lot of bad things going on, and they need us to solve the crimes. And what's been so great, obviously we did season 1 and it did really well in the UK, and then they've just aired it here on PBS, because it's PBS money as well that's in this.
Right. And
it's done really well, and a lot of the fans who've been coming up today have had the books. And so I've been signing Marlowe Murder books, and everyone's had a lot of comments about it, so I think it's going really well. We did season 2 that we just wrapped on, but that won't be here until end of 2025, yes. And season 3 will start early next year, so yeah, it's a good one.
That's a fist
It's
bump.
a good one. I'm doing a little bit on the Sandman at the moment, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Drop that little nugget in there.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Promote.
I was looking around, Sacha, confession time. I was looking around for the rebroadcast of the 1954 live production of 1984 starring Peter Cushing. And then I landed on your dramatic reading of 1984, which is on BBC iPlayer. Don't ask me how I accessed it in Canada.
I won't ask.
But it was fascinating and wonderful.
Oh,
And
great.
it's just you in a room basically reading 1984, but basically acting it out. What was that like?
God, what's the task in it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It was, I wanted to do it because it's something so different, because it's me narrating the book but acting it all, and it's an abridged version. It's about an hour long, and so it's just I love the challenge of being able to play everyone in the book and bring it to life, and absolutely fantastic. Felt like live theatre a little bit.
Yeah. Were you reading it on? Please tell me you were reading that. You didn't memorize that.
No, I was reading it.
Okay, I didn't look. I didn't notice, but I believe me. After like 5 minutes, I'm looking. He's got to be reading. He's got to be looking at his eyes.
Yeah, it's got to. Yeah.
I hope that sees the light of day in these parts, because I was supposed to be working and I was distracted. I says, no, I have to put this away and get back to work.
It out,
yeah. So.
But I've also I've just finished a TV show by the writer and creator of a show called Luther.
Neil Cross.
Neil Cross,
Come
his
on.
new show, and it's called Iris.
Oh, I'll be on that. I'll be watching that, mate.
Yes.
Nice.
And it's going to be on Sky probably towards the end of next year. We've just wrapped on it.
Well done, Sacha. Whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
whoop, whoop.
Okay.
Well done. Looking
Can I
forward to
plug something else, actually?
Absolutely, yep.
I'm a huge fan of a director called Mike Leigh, and I'm in his new film, which gets released here in America January. So please go and see it. It's called Hard Truths.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah. It's really good. But anyway.
Very good.
And Harlan Coben has got a new series on Netflix called Missing You. Watch that on New Year's Day. It's going to be going out New Year's Day worldwide. Right. Yeah, I'm a busy girl. What do you want?
All right, we have some people lined up who want to ask some questions. I'll ask the person in the hat there to step forward and ask Joe and/or Sacha a question.
So this question is for both of you. Did you always want to be an actor? If not, what did you want to be?
I always wanted to be an actor from about the age of 5. And it never changed. It never, ever changed. The only other job I said I wouldn't mind doing is working in the airport, because I love people watching in airports. I didn't know what I would actually do. But no, other than that, it's never, ever changed. It's not... some people, there's no right or wrong way to come into the business. Some people don't know they're going to be an actor until they're of a certain age, or people change, especially in this day and age. You don't just do one job and do it for life. People do lots of jobs, don't they? But yeah, I'm one of those that always knew. It's like this sounds so dramatic. It was a calling, but it really was. It was do or die. I had to do it. My family were dead against it, because obviously, when they give you a great education and they want you to be a lawyer or a doctor or something, but you're telling you're going to be an actor, they're like, huh? That's a hobby. You do that as a hobby and do some serious job because you're going to starve. And they weren't wrong. I've starved. The amount of my life I've been hungry. Jacket potatoes have saved my life. Cheap and cheerful. But it's all worked out, so yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted to be an actor. I just loved, not even just acting. When I was a kid, I would constantly do Michael Jackson impersonations.
Oh, I've got a Michael Jackson impersonation. I won a competition at school.
Did you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be in the kitchen in my socks learning the moonwalk.
Right.
Can you do the moonwalk? Show me then.
I can't now.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
We'll have a moonwalk off.
Yeah, I know. And then, oh, go on then. But even when I hear like Billie Jean, I just feel like
Come on.
get off and.
Come on.
So it was that, and then it was the Dustbin Man for a while. Yeah, Chris, I don't know why. But acting is the thing. So from dancing to then, I think my parents were like, "Hey, stop the Michael Jackson because you're not very good." And maybe try some acting, and that's where I kind of settled. I thought, this works for me.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My question's for both. If you had your own season, full season as the Doctor, would you choose your own question? Which companions would you want to travel with that we've already seen, or a type of companion you'd want to travel with, or which monster would you want to defeat?
What? Which monster? What?
Yeah, which monster would you want to defeat? In case you don't have a
Which
companion
monster?
off the top of your head.
Oh.
I'm letting you choose your own question.
Oh, yeah, I want to kill off
Less
the
pressure.
Daleks.
See?
The Daleks. I didn't get to do anything with the Daleks, and they really scare me. They still scare me, that sound that they make. Can you do a Dalek sound?
Exterminate.
Exterminate. That, honest to goodness, that still makes me go. So I'd want to do something and chop them up and do something with them. Yeah, chop them up. Who would be my companions? I would definitely want Sacha as my master. I'd love to do battle with him. And I would like also for my, you know, when the Doctor goes bad, like someone does something and the Doctor becomes really bad before they, you know, they forget who they are. I'd like to be an evil Doctor for a while. Yeah. And I don't know about companions. I have to think on that while he talks. Talk, Sacha, talk.
Yeah, what was the question, sorry?
You have to choose. If you could pick a companion that we've already seen, like if you had your own season as the Doctor.
Yeah.
A companion we've either seen or like a type of companion you'd want to travel with or a monster you'd want to defeat.
Okay, I tell you, this is honestly who I think would be great. I would love to be my own version of the Doctor, but have Missy as my companion. I'm putting that out there. I think that would be a very interesting dynamic.
Very interesting. I'd watch that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Pitch that to Big Finish at the very least.
No,
at the very least.
Yeah, come on.
Hi. So the Doctor and the Master have been in a lot of stories for the last 40 years. It's a relationship and a story that we keep coming back to. What do you guys think the draw of that is, and how do you interpret the relationship between the two characters?
Heavy.
Why are you looking at me? Do you know, oh man, what is it? The good and the evil. There's always an attraction, isn't there? And you have to have the yin and the yang, don't we? It's kind of like, I think, it's like when they talk about, oh God, I'm going to get too deep now. No, I've scratched that. Hang on. It's like you got Judas and you got Jesus, but they're from the same.
Right.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
Jesus Christ Superstar, right?
That's right. Sing those songs for me, please. But I think you if you're going to have good, you have to have evil. And it makes great drama, right? We can't, and what is it that attracts it? Tell me what you said? What is it?
What keeps the characters coming together?
Because they both think they're right. No?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say that they can't live with each other and they can't live without each other, yeah. And obviously there's animosity between them, but also there's a love there as well. And they're not humans. They don't really have a label, but yet they're drawn together by each other. I don't think they would able to. Maybe this is the Master's point of view. Would be able to function without the Doctor being around. That's his sole purpose. You'd hate for me saying that, but I think that's the case.
Well, I think that's true.
Yeah, there's a great line in Power of the Doctor where you are about to forcibly change back to the Master, and the Master says, "Please don't let me go back to being me." Essentially,
very good.
Yeah, cause
I didn't write it. It's
no, but that's exactly what our kind of interpretation was as well. That if the Doctor's not around, the Master doesn't have purpose, and as a result, he's got to sit with his real self, who maybe we haven't seen yet. And I think that his real self is someone that's quite small and vulnerable, and that's something he doesn't want to sit with. So that's right that you spotted that.
That's really
don't
good.
let me go back to being me.
I've watched the show a couple times.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to say you both are amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is, as we all know, time isn't linear in the Doctor Who universe. So would you go back to Doctor Who if you got a call from BBC tomorrow? And if you did, what would be... Well, she kind of asked the question I was going to ask. What would you want your storyline to be, or what would you want your character arc to be?
Well, first of all, whenever Doctor Who calls, everybody says yes. I've never heard of anyone saying no, have you? No! Especially if you've established a character that they want you to reprise, to bring back. So I think that's a definite yes, providing we were available, darling, because we're very busy people, aren't we? But no, definitely. And in terms of what story would we want? What story would you want, Sacha?
And so I'd love to go back, but I think I would love to do, I'm not even sure anyone would ever be interested in it, is like the Master origin story a little bit. You know, I want to, but something that is probably a lot darker than, you know, you've seen like the Joker and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in seeing the Master's version of that isn't so kind of about doing good in the world.
Right.
There's just a really fascinating story there.
Late night version.
Late night. Something a bit more darker. And I think the Master allows us to do it. It wouldn't be completely dark, but it allows us to get away with things that maybe Doctor Who can't.
Doctor Who After Dark, basically. Yep.
Anyone up for producing that? Anyone? Any takers?
Yep. Any TV producers in the room? All right, one last question here from the 13th Doctor and a Dalek in Chains. This is great.
That's right. That's good. Keep it chained up.
Hi. When Missy and the 12th Doctor and I believe Clara were all on planet Skaro, Missy described the reason why the Doctor is always able to get out of scrapes is the fact that he never gives up. What, if any, of that informed your acting choices?
About never giving up. Basically, the Doctor says that the reason he gets out of scrapes is from a Peter Capaldi episode about how he never gives up.
Yeah, actually, I say that line as well in one of the eps that I did about never giving up.
Never gonna
well, I suppose if you well, I think we know a lot about that as actors. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's insane. You know what I mean? What are you doing? I'm acting. Yeah, but you're not working. You know, but you never give up. You never because if you do have that calling to tell stories and to be other characters, no matter what you go through, no matter how many jacket potatoes you have to eat, you're going to do it. And as you know, like they say, if the lift ain't working, I'm going to take the stairs because I'm not giving up. You know, and I think that's the... Yeah, go on then. And so I think... And also with a lot of the fans that we meet who are, you know, we're all going through things, aren't we? And a lot of the fans that I've met even today who are going through stuff, but they haven't given up. You know what I mean? They keep showing up and they share their stories. They meet amazing people at these kind of conventions who don't give up and who never give up on Doctor Who, my God. You know, people have been coming to these things for years and years and years. And even when the show had stopped for years and years, they didn't give up until, you know, I'm pretty sure it's the fans that brought this back. You know, I don't know if I've answered your question. Go on, Sacha, say something.
Yep, wrap it up.
Oh,
Sacha.
I can't beat that.
Top that. Do you ever give up?
Oh, the Master always gives up. Can't be bothered.
He can't be bothered.
No. Yeah, very much like the Doctor. I mean, it's evident with the Master, no matter what situation he's in, he can be on a burning plane that's hitting the ground at 1,000,000 miles per hour, but he'll find some way to come back. I mean, that is someone who was never going to give up. But yeah, that sheer, I think like what you were saying, it certainly informs my performance. I think because the Master has this facade of being kind of this joker and likes to play, but really there's a serious intention underneath it. You know, for him, it's everything. You know, the kind of the not ingrained kind of not giving up. I'll come back and find you, and that will always be there. And I know in some shape or form, the Master will be back at some point, hopefully with me. So. And if not, see you later. It was nice knowing you.
Joe Martin, Sacha Dhawan, big hand, everybody.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed that. I did. I hope everyone in the place enjoyed it as well. It was fun to be back at Chicago TARDIS doing main stage interviews. If things get recorded again, there'll be more to come throughout December, including one that I'm running off to do right after I record this that isn't on stage but is separate to that. But anyway, it's fun to get stuff.
The pictures I saw of the Martin and Dhawan interview. There's lots of smiles going around. So it looked like it was probably fun.
They liked it. They liked me. They did.
Well, they strike me as two charming people, so.
They really are. And you know what? You can tell, like, when you meet people backstage beforehand and you kind of see them with the the veil down, and there wasn't much of a veil to be down. They were just naturally nice people. And you could tell. I mean, I had done a commentary with Sacha Dhawan before, but I hadn't met Joe Martin before, and she's great.
I can't remember her name, but the woman who was like the scientific advisor when UNIT was down in the dumps during the, was it the Jodie era? No, it was previous to that. It was the Capaldi era.
Right.
We ended up talking about how stupid
Griffiths,
America's gun laws were. Yes. Yeah. America's gun laws were for about 5 minutes while we were in the back. Yeah. I'm like, all right, she's cool. I like her.
Yeah. Yeah. She was fun too. But anyway, that's it. That's it for this episode of Radio Free Skaro. Next week, I'll be back in Edmonton and we'll record another podcast just like we've done for the past 18 odd years. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, I am Stephen in Lombard.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.